Besties, I want y'all to remember, when things don't work out, whether it be a relationship falling apart, or you lost a friend, or you don't get the job that you wanted, it's because the higher power, whether it be God or the universe, purposefully hid your potential from these things, circumstances, and individuals because they are not assigned to your destiny, and they were making way for the new blessings to come. Always remember, rejection is God's protection. Hey girlies, it's your girl Lua back with another episode. So this episode is going to be about how redefining failure can literally change your entire life. I don't know if it's because I'm at that halfway point in my 20s. Your girl is about to be 25. I literally cannot even believe it. Like, where has time even gone? I still feel the same way that I did when I was 19, but a little bit wiser and a little bit smarter. And lately, I've just been finding myself reflecting on the things that have happened over the 24 years of my life. I've been finding myself reflecting on the hardships that I faced, circumstances that I was dealt with, and mistakes that I made along the way. I seriously feel like I've gotten to a point where I had like a whole mindset shift. Somewhere along the way of my healing journey, I was able to separate myself from the victim mentality, which allowed me to see things for what they were. Somewhere along the way, I stopped asking myself why these things happened to me, and I started to see how they happen in my favor. I started to see what sorts of lessons or blessings they had to teach, and I was able to reflect on why or how things happened the way that they did. As a Christian, I firmly believe that our lives are orchestrated and have been written out for us. I guess it's true when they say that everything happens for a reason. I'm finally beginning to see things differently. It's as if I'm looking back at my life through a completely different lens because of the fact that I changed the way I view rejection and what it means to me. And it's because of this mindset shift, it's because of this pivot in the way that I think, that I felt inspired to create this episode for my girlies to help y'all change your view and overall perspective on what failure means to you. Personally, there were so many times throughout my whole life that I've missed out on opportunities because of my fear of failing, because I was afraid of being judged for being anything less than perfect. And as humans, I feel like the fear of failure is what holds back a lot of us from truly showing up as the most authentic versions of ourselves, and keeps us from stepping out of our comfort zone. And as all y'all know, there's no growth in the comfort zone. So last week, I actually listened to this podcast by Ed Milet, and on the podcast he interviewed one of his friends. I believe her name was Jamie Kern Lima. She wrote this book called Worthy, and in the book she wrote about the 4 R's, and the 4 R's are a tool that we can use to help us redefine what failure means to us. So I'm just gonna start at 1 and then go down the list. The first R was reveal. You need to start by asking yourself, what does failure mean to you? When you think of failing, what sorts of thoughts come to mind? How do you feel? Personally, when I get rejected, I'm just like, dang, add this to the bucket, add this to the pile, to the reasons why I'm unworthy of achieving certain things. It will hurt to fail. And as humans, I believe that we try to avoid discomfort and pain at all costs, which leads to us remaining small and playing it safe. So once you reveal what failure means to you, we're gonna move on to the next R, which is redefine. Like a CD player, when you begin to tell yourself the old definition of failure and you begin to tell yourself the old stories, I want y'all to replace it with a new definition. Instead of viewing failure as something that proves that I'm unworthy, I've ditched that thought and I started to view failure as a sort of victory. When I fail, it's just proof that I am one of the brave ones, that I am in the game. I choose to show up for myself in spite of what others might say, in spite of others' opinions, so that I may be in alignment with my life's purpose, so that I can live a life that truly fulfills me and avoid looking back at my life with regret. You can think of it as a soccer game. I'm not sitting in the bleachers watching the players play the game. I am on the field. I am breaking my back, putting in the work, putting in the energy, putting in the long nights, because I have a goal that I am chasing. I am trying to score in this game of life. I choose to be fearless enough to play the game. I choose to view failure as proof that I'm putting in the reps to build the strength to carry the weight of that yes when it finally comes. If I don't start incorporating the habits and routines that the version of myself that has already achieved these things has, then when I finally get the yes, when I finally get the opportunities, when I knock on the right door that is open onto me, I won't be ready to receive it. So I need to start putting in the work now. Despite all the no's, despite all the rejections, I will continue to put in the work so that when I finally get that yes, I will have the tools in place that will prepare me and help me level up to the version of myself that I need to be to receive these blessings when they finally come. We need to realize that rejection is God's protection. When things don't work out, if relationships fall apart, or you lose a friend, or you don't get the job that you wanted, we need to realize that the higher power you believe in, whether it be God or the universe, purposefully hid your potential because they knew that those things, individuals, or circumstances were not assigned to your destiny. We need to turn down the volume of the no and start turning up the volume of the knowing that the universe and God are working in your favor and that all these things are happening for a particular reason. Once you get to redefine your definition of rejection, we move on to the third R, which is to revisit. Revisit your old definitions of rejection by reflecting on your past failures, mistakes, and reassign new definitions to them. So I don't know why, but while I was washing the dishes, I started reflecting back on those things. And I don't know, it's like all my deep thoughts come to me when I'm washing the dishes. And I found myself reflecting on all my past friendships, relationships, and heartbreaks. And the old Lua, the unhealed version of me, used to view these things as proof that I am unworthy of love and attention, proof that I wasn't good enough. But I decided to turn down the no and turn up the knowing, to realize that the Lord was protecting me to make way for my blessings. This is kind of personal, but my exes all cheated on me. And back then I saw it as a pattern, like, dang, I'm not pretty enough, they don't have the best body, I'm unworthy of love and attention, this is why they did this. And it's kind of crazy because the men that cheated on me ended up getting the girls that they cheated on me with pregnant. I feel like I seriously dodged a huge bullet. Not to say that it's bad to start a family or have a baby or anything, but personally, I am nowhere near ready. It's just like not my priority right now to have a family or to start one. Give me 6 years and I'll be ready. Like, I'm still living my life. I still need to travel this world. And if I had remained in those relationships, if I ended up staying, I probably would have ended up pregnant with some deadbeat. I wouldn't have been able to go through the things that I've gone through. I probably wouldn't have received the blessings that came after those relationships. So aside from the past heartbreaks, I found myself reflecting on my old friendships. And the old Lua used to be the kind of girl that would spend all her time, money, and energy on her friends. Like, I would literally go broke trying to make sure that everyone was having fun, whether it be buying the drinks, buying the snacks, paying for people because they didn't have money to make it. And they probably did have enough money to pay for themselves, but they knew that if they said that they don't got it, then I'd put myself out there because I was so desperate for their love and attention. I thought that doing these things would allow me to earn that level of love back that I was giving to them. And I was just like thinking back to old Lua, like, dang girl, what were you thinking? You was foolish. But I have a lot of love for Lua because she was doing what she thought was best back then. She was pouring a lot of herself into people that weren't reciprocating the same level of love or energy back to her. I feel like the way that I showed up in my friendships, my relationships, and just like in life had a lot to do with my past childhood traumas. And the fact that I grew up as the only girl in a house full of 6 brothers, and I am a Carolinian woman, which is a Pacific Islander, and in my culture, it is the woman's role to be the caregiver, to make sure the house is clean, make sure there's food on the table, make sure everybody is cared for. And I was trying to juggle all that while also being a full-time student, working 2 different jobs, taking care of everybody while trying to struggle to take care of myself. And it was so draining. Your girl was in survival mode. I don't know how my mind did not explode. But I do not regret the role that I played back then or the circumstances that I was dealt with, because as a recovering people pleaser, I know how to build healthy boundaries. I'm stronger now because I was weak. I am wiser because I was foolish. I've learned to put myself and my needs before others, because growing up, old Lua would put everyone else's needs before herself and put herself last. I am stronger, wiser, and I know better because of the things that I've been through. All my past problems were placed in my life to provide answers and solutions to the future or present problems that I might face. So after revisiting your old definition of failures, we are going to move on to the 4th R, which is to revel. To revel in the fact that you are a champion. You are one of the brave ones for choosing to show up as the most authentic version of yourself. You are choosing not to live a life led by fear. We need to redefine failure, because the fear of failing, being seen, and judged is what causes a lot of people to project a fake, inauthentic version of themselves. And then we tend to project our insecurities onto others. We need to realize that although there might be thousands of people, thousands of influencers, thousands of individuals living the type of life that you want, living your dream life, working the career that you want for yourself, you need to remember that there is only one you, and that's what makes you special. The fact that there's only one version of yourself in this world full of millions of people is your superpower. People tend to use their past to dictate their futures, but you need to understand that your past and where you came from doesn't determine where you're going. The things that we went through in life were just misfortunes, and all the hard times and pain that we have encountered throughout our life are keys to us discovering our purpose. The things that we're going through will soon become the things that we made it through. And you might not realize it now, but your pain is the greatest source of purpose in your life, because there are people that are still currently going through the things that you've made it through. You need to be that voice for them. You need to show them. You need to be the proof that it is possible, that you can turn it around. There are girlies, there are individuals, there are people out there waiting for you, waiting for the wisdom that you have to offer. That's what separates you from all the different people that might be living the life that you want. That's what separates you from the others. I hope that you guys found some of the tips that I shared useful. And if you guys liked anything that I had to say or felt that you related, or if you have a friend that could benefit from this video, share this with your friend. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on your notification bell. Stay tuned for the next episode.